Discovered my son's incredible surprise in the car, the touching moment that changed everything. Tom woke up before dawn, the soft hum of the small town streets just starting to stir. Another day, another struggle. As he scrambled eggs in their cramped kitchen, he could hear Jake's quiet footsteps padding down the hallway, still fighting sleep. Each day felt like a tug-of-war between hope and reality. The burden of being a single father weighed heavy on him, yet the love and laughter they shared filled their modest home with warmth. Today, though, the familiar tension gripped his heart harder than usual. "Morning, Dad." Jake's voice broke through the thoughts. He stretched out, a sleepy smile lighting up his face, a smile that made all Tom's sacrifices worthwhile. But as Tom poured the last of the milk into Jake's cereal, he couldn't shake the feeling of dread. The bills piled up like old friends on the kitchen table, each one a reminder of dreams deferred. Tom wanted to give Jake a future adventures and laughter together, time away from their worries, but reality was always waiting, looming large. Mid-afternoon, while running errands, Tom's hand brushed against something cold in the glove compartment of their aging car. He tugged it out and unfolded it, revealing a crumpled letter in Jake's unmistakable scrawl. His heart raced as he read, "Dear Dad, I love you more than anything. I've been saving money from my allowance and doing chores because I want to take you to see the Pirates play this summer. It'll be just us, laughing and cheering together. I hope this surprise makes you happy. You mean everything to me." A wave of emotion crashed over Tom, joy intertwined with guilt. He could feel pride swelling in his chest, yet with it, the weight of all he'd sacrificed swept through him. Jake understood their struggles better than Tom wanted to admit, and here he was toiling away for a moment of joy that felt so significant. Could they really afford to take time out, to breathe and just be together? His thoughts wrestled with the memory of past summers, ball games on the radio as they grilled hot dogs in the backyard. But today was different, louder with uncertainty. He couldn't just give up. He had to elevate their lives beyond simple survival. That he pulled into the local diner shortly after, drawn by its familiar neon glow. Inside, the quaint clatter of dishes and murmurs of conversations buzzed softly. Tom spotted Mike in the corner, staring into his coffee like it held the answers to life's complexities. They exchanged knowing glances, both feeling trapped, prisoners of a world that weighed them down. Tom wondered if every man felt the pressure, longing for an American dream that seemed just out of reach. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Sitting across from Mike, grappling with his emotions, Tom knew Jake's letter was not just ink on paper. It was a chance for connection, a chance to escape their troubles, even if just for a day. The thought sent shivers through him. Could he let himself believe in that one moment of joy? In this small town, where dreams felt so far away, there lay a choice, a chance to fight against the crushing weight of responsibility and embrace the very love that made all the struggles worthwhile. And at that moment, Tom clutched the letter tight, caught between duty and desire, uncertainty swelling in his chest. What sacrifices would true love demand, and at what cost? The question hovered in the air, heavy with possibility, hanging, waiting for an answer that could change everything. Tom sat at the diner's counter, the aroma of fresh coffee mixing with the greasy scent of breakfast. The clatter of plates and laughter of customers created a comforting background hum. Yet, within him, a storm brewed. He kept reading Jake's letter over and over, trying to weigh the hope it held against the reality of their situation. Could one day at a baseball game truly sweep away the pressures of life, even just for a moment? "Hey, are you okay?" Mike interrupted, his voice cutting through Tom's reverie. "Yeah, just thinking," Tom replied, forcing a smile. "Thinking about that son of yours?" Mike asked, leaning in. "You look like you just found gold." Tom chuckled, but the laugh barely reached his eyes. "More like silver. It's a letter. He wants to take me to see the Pirates." He waved the crumpled paper as though it were a winning lottery ticket. Mike raised his eyebrows. both surprised and impressed. That kid's got heart. But are you really considering it? The question hung in the air, heavy with a truth Tom hadn't yet found a way to voice. He liked the idea, no, he loved it, but how could he justify the cost, the escape? I want to. I really do. But the bills, they never stop coming. Every time I think we can breathe, another bill drops on the table. Mike nodded, sympathy etched on his face. You know, sometimes you gotta swing for the fences, even if you're nervous. You and Jake deserve some joy. Just think what that day would mean to him. And to you. Tom stared into his coffee, the reflection of the diner's lights glimmering. A mix of fear and sadness wrapped around his heart. What if Jake expected this surprise to transform all their troubles, only to find it didn't? Would that break something between them? Okay, then what? Tom shot back, his emotions bubbling. I let him down, forget to budget, and what do I tell him? Sorry, buddy, we can't go. If it were just me, it would be different. But he's only 10. You're not a bad dad if you take him to a game, Mike said, his tone steady. It's one day. Memories like that? They last forever. You too could use that. Tom felt his grip on the letter tighten. Swirls of doubt ebbed and flowed within him. Memories of laughter echoed from their backyard barbecues, of summer nights under the stars with big plans. Those moments were fleeting, yet they had bonded them in ways deeper than anything he could quantify with figures that a thought ignited in his mind. What if there was another way? What if he could hold on to that letter while finding a way to make it work? A drive together, a sense of adventure, all without the heavy financial strains he feared. Maybe I could get a few shifts this week, Tom muttered mostly to himself. Pick up some extra hours, save just enough. That's the spirit. You can do it, man. Mike's encouragement sank into Tom, quieting the swirling anxieties. The flame of determination flickered to life, and with it, a glimmer of joy began to break through his worries. After finishing their coffee, Tom returned home, finger tracing the edges of the letter clutched in his pocket. Jake would be getting home from school soon, and Tom could already picture the joy lighting up his son's face when he realized they might just go on that adventure together, but as he pulled into their driveway, a chill gripped him. What if reality struck first? What if he couldn't earn that money in time? What if those bills came first yet again? He wouldn't want to ruin this chance for Jake. Would he find a way? With a heavy heart, he entered their home, the walls echoing with unspoken dreams. And little did he know, the surprise wasn't finished unfolding just yet. Tom stepped into the familiar chaos of their small home. Sneakers were haphazardly strewn across the living room floor, and the faint sound of a game show emanated from the television in the corner. He called out for Jake, but the house remained quiet. Just as he headed to the kitchen, he heard the telltale sound of the front door creaking open. Dad! Jake's voice rang out, filled with youthful energy. The moment Tom turned, he saw Jake's face light up like a fireworks display, his backpack dangling sloppily from one shoulder. Hey, buddy! Tom replied, forcing a smile despite the weights pulling at his heart. I got something. Jake declared, almost bouncing on his feet. Can you guess what it is? Tom raised an eyebrow, genuinely intrigued. A new video game? A baseball card? Nope. Jake giggled, shaking his head. Even better. Tom couldn't help but chuckle. There was something so carefree, so hopeful about Jake's excitement that it chipped away at the tightness in his chest. I'm dying to know, then. What is it? With a wide grin, Jake reached into his backpack, rummaging around like a magician revealing his tricks. After a few moments of suspense, he pulled out a wrinkled piece of paper. Look. I drew this for us. Tom took the paper, his heart softening as he scanned the colorful drawing. It depicted a baseball field, Jake's stick figure self wearing a cap with a huge smile, and Tom beside him, a much too tall figure with broad shoulders holding a baseball bat. Above them, scribbled in vibrant blue crayon, were the words, Dad, Jake, best day ever. Tears prickled at the corners of Tom's eyes. It wasn't just a drawing, it was a promise. This is incredible, Jake. I love it. I want to go to the games so bad. Jake exclaimed, his eyes wide with hope. It's gonna be great, Dad. We'll cheer for the Pirates together. Tom felt the weight of Jake's dreams bouncing across his chest. His son's innocent belief gripped him, both beautiful and heartbreaking. Here was Jake, already envisioning the best day ever, while Tom grappled with questions of money and practicality. Yeah, buddy, it will be. Tom's voice wavered a little, a mix of determination and dread. How could he explain the gap between dreams and reality without shattering that beautiful enthusiasm? Can we go this weekend? Jake's excitement was palpable, and for a moment, Tom feared he was letting the moment slip away. Let us not rush. I still need to figure a few things out, Tom said, his heart heavy. Okay. Jake said with unshakable optimism. I'm sure it will be amazing. You'll see. Tom ruffled Jake's hair, needing the connection. The love in his chest swelled, pushing against the barriers of doubt. You know what? We'll make it work somehow. As the afternoon wore on, they settled into their routine. They shared a simple dinner, Jake recounting stories from school, his laughter contagious, easing Tom's worries little by little. The image of the baseball field and the colors of Jake's drawing replayed in his mind, becoming a beacon of hope. Later that night, after Jake had gone to bed, Tom sat in the darkened living room with the letter still in his pocket. He replayed the day's moments, the laughter, the connection, and felt something shift within him. Maybe Mike was right. Maybe he wouldn't just be throwing money at a game, but rather investing in a lifetime of memories. The warmth of possibility flooded through him. With renewed determination, Tom pulled out his phone. He wasn't ready to back down yet. But just as he began to search for extra shifts, a notification pinged. It was an email from work. An unexpected bonus was coming, and it was just big enough to make a trip possible. What do I do now? He whispered to himself, a rush of hope mixing with uncertainty. Had life just opened a door? With his heart racing, Tom stared at the screen, pondering everything that had brought him to this pivotal moment and all the changes it could bring. Meanwhile, outside, shadows danced as the wind rustled the trees, as if teasing secrets of what was to unfold next. Would this truly be the best day ever? Tom's heart raced as he read the email again. A bonus. It felt almost unreal. He could scarcely believe luck would show up after all the times it had let him down. The thought of going to the game with Jake suddenly seemed tangible. The drawing in his pocket felt heavier, more significant. After a moment of hesitation, he jumped up and grabbed his keys. I'll just take a quick drive, he murmured, needing the fresh air to clear his head. He stepped outside, acutely aware of the crisp evening breeze that brushed past him. The streetlights flickered as though highlighting his path, leading him towards something hopeful. That he hopped into his old sedan, the worn-out seat covering offering a sense of familiarity that soothed him. Starting the engine brought a vibration, a hum of hope as he drove through their neighborhood. The warmth in his heart was battling the chill of doubts swirling in his mind. Would they really be able to do this? Could he really pull it off? Tom decided to drive to the park where they often played catch, another little pocket of joy in their lives. It was quiet, save for the rustle of leaves. He parked and stepped out, feeling the gravel beneath his sneakers crunching softly. The empty field stretched out before him, illuminated under the glow of the moon. He closed his eyes and imagined Jake racing toward him, cap pulled down low, laughing as he chased every errant baseball. It was a beautiful image, free of all restrictions. Suddenly, another thought struck him. If he wanted to make the baseball game happen, he could kick off their adventure right now. He hurried back to the car and opened his phone, fingers dancing over the keyboard as he searched for tickets. The numbers clicked into his mind: how much they would cost, how much he could afford. With each option he scrolled through, excitement mingled with anxiety. There it was, a perfect set of seats for a Saturday afternoon game. The price was higher than he hoped, but it was doable. He bit his lip, the thumb hovering above the screen, trembling with uncertainty. "Simon, Tom," he whispered to himself. The echo of Jake's laughter resonated in his ear. "Just do it. With a deep breath, he pressed purchase. The thrill of doing something incredible surged through him as the confirmation email pinged back with a gentle vibration. He could almost picture Jake's face as he revealed the surprise. It was a leap of faith. Pulling away from the park, Tom felt lighter. The weight of indecision dropped off him like a winter coat in the spring. Thoughts swirled in his mind immediately. He'd need to plan for snacks, maybe a team cap, and what they should wear. Visions of cheering alongside Jake flooded his senses. Arriving home, Tom crept quietly inside, eager to keep the surprise alive. But as he reached the living room, he spotted something on the coffee table. A small envelope, folded neatly and adorned with Jake's careful handwriting. "Dad, it's for you," Jake called sleepily from the hallway, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. "I made you something." Tom's heart warmed at the sight. He opened the envelope, gently unfolding the note. Inside was a drawing, a sketch of their family with stars around them, and a very familiar phrase, "Dad, Jake, best day ever," but below it, in little print, was written, "I love you, Dad. Always." With everything swirling within him, Tom smiled wide, overwhelmed with gratitude and love. "Jake, this is amazing!" he exclaimed, feeling the thrill of the evening's choices blooming in his chest, but just as Jake was about to run to him for a hug, the phone buzzed again. It was a notification, but not from work. Tom's stomach dropped as he noticed the name flashing on the screen, his landlord. And the preview sent a cold shiver down his spine. Payment due. Had everything he just accomplished been for nothing? The smile faltered as his heart raced anew, a familiar tension tightening his chest. What could this mean for their best day ever? Would the joy he felt be eclipsed by the reality waiting outside their window? Tom's mind whirled, the brief moment of warmth he felt from Jake's drawing now overshadowed by the stark message glaring from his phone screen. It was as if the universe was intent on reminding him how precarious happiness could be. "Hey, Dad. What's that about?" Jake's innocent voice pulled Tom back to the living room. He turned, forcing a smile to mask the tempest of worry brewing within. Jake's wide eyes sparkled with the joy of presenting his creation. It was a stark contrast to the looming uncertainty that had just invaded Tom's heart. Just a little reminder from the landlord," Tom said, trying to keep his tone light. "Nothing we can't handle." He hoped his voice didn't betray him, but Jake's expression flickered just a moment, something briefly unguarded passing over his face. Tom knelt down to be at eye level with Jake. "You know what? This drawing is truly the best surprise I could ask for. It's going to make our day at the game even better." He ruffled Jake's hair, warmth creeping back into his heart. "Really?" Jake's eyes lit up again. "You mean it?" "Absolutely," Tom replied, shoving his phone into his pocket, determined to focus on the happiness right in front of him. "We should start planning for our adventure. Snacks, hats, what else do you think we need?" Jake grinned widely, his earlier hesitation forgotten. "We need hot dogs. And lots of candy. Oh, and can we get one of those foam fingers?" Tom chuckled, a genuine sound that felt almost foreign after the moment of dread. "You got it, partner. Foam finger, hot dogs, and candy it is. You're on snack duty." "Deal." Jake beamed, excitement radiating off of him like sunlight. As the evening wore on, they began brainstorming ideas for the big day. Each suggestion exchanged was met with hearty laughter. It dawned on Tom that, despite the financial worry lingering like a dark cloud, he promised himself he'd not let it eclipse the light they found in moments like this. Later, after they settled into a comfortable couch time routine, Tom felt the weight of the landlord's notice gnawing at him again. He couldn't afford to slip back into worry. Not tonight. Not when Jake was bubbling over with energy and anticipation. "Dad?" Jake's voice pulled him from his thoughts. "What if we did something super special at the game, too? Like, I don't know, maybe a cheer for the team?" "That's a fantastic idea," Tom replied, hoping the enthusiasm in his voice could drown out his anxieties. "We'll be the loudest fans in the stands. Just you wait. You'll see." Jake leaned back, confidence radiating from him. And if anyone can make it the best day ever, it's us. Tom's heart swelled at his son's unwavering optimism. Maybe Jake was right. Maybe they could rise above this moment of uncertainty together. But as the night grew late and Jake slowly drifted off to sleep, Tom sat in the stillness, the faint buzz of his phone vibrating in his pocket again that he fished it out, already knowing it wasn't good news. Another notification. This time, his stomach churned. It wasn't just a reminder. It was a message he couldn't ignore. His eyes scanned the screen, and he felt the world tip on its axis that he had to make a choice. Should he risk it all for their day at the game, or face the landlord and the reality of their situation head-on? His heart sank, and a wave of panic washed over him. Neither outcome felt right. What should he do next? Tom's heart raced. The room felt small, stifling. Uncertainty filled the air, wrapping around him like a tight, suffocating blanket. He leaned back against the couch, trying to push the chaos aside, but it clung to him. The landlord's demands echoed in his mind with each insistent buzz from his phone, a relentless reminder of the impending reality that he glanced over at Jake, sleeping soundly with his drawing clutched tightly in his hands. The innocence of that moment tugged at Tom's heart. Would it be fair to ruin this joyful anticipation with adult worries? Would he be sparking fear instead of excitement if he revealed the truth? Tom swallowed hard, grappling with a painful knot in his stomach. Dad, Jake's quiet voice broke through the stillness. Tom's heart skipped a beat. Had he sensed his father's turmoil? Are we still going to the game? That question, simple and earnest, cut through the fog. Tom took a deep breath, thinking of the promise they had made to one another earlier. Of course, buddy. We're going to have a blast, he stated, injecting strength into his voice with all the conviction he could muster despite the turmoil inside. Jake nestled deeper into the couch, whispering as he drifted back into sleep. I can't wait for the foam finger. The corner of Tom's mouth twitched into a gentle smile, a moment of warmth flickering in the shadows of worry. Time passed, each second stretching and contracting as he continued to wrestle with his situation. Tom took out his phone again to read the message once more. It loomed large and unforgiving. The rent was overdue, and the landlord had set a deadline for payment. It wasn't just about money, it was about securing a home for Jake, a shelter filled with loving memories. It dawned on him that maybe this challenge could be tackled in a way that wouldn't ruin the joy of their planned day together. He could buy them a little more time. He remembered the odd jobs his friend Mike had offered on occasion. Perhaps he could squeeze in some extra shifts before the game. Tom's pulse quickened at the thought. He could do both, make it to the game and work to find a solution without emotionally burdening Jake. Maybe he could even find that balance of fatherhood where he was a superhero in his son's eyes, gathering the remnants of his courage. Tom decided then and there. He wouldn't let fear dictate his choices. He would fight for their happiness. He looked around the room, remembering Jake's laughter, the drawing, the foam finger, the promise of what could be brought to life at the game. Once more, he pulled up the work message from Mike. Just a few extra hours might ease the financial worry. He set his phone down, resolved. Tomorrow would be a day of joy, of laughs and cheers. They deserved it. With a renewed sense of purpose, he finally pulled Jake's drawing from the coffee table, resting it softly against the lamp for his son to see first thing in the morning. But just as he settled back in, a sharp knock on the door made him jump. Anxiety shot back through him like an electric charge. Who could that be at this hour? Tom's heart thudded hard in his chest. The landlord? Or maybe even someone from the building? He clenched his fists, suddenly wishing for courage he wasn't sure he had. Stay here, kiddo, he whispered, though he knew Jake wouldn't budge. His mind raced with implications, and dread crept back in. As Tom approached the door, every beat of his heart echoed the question, what was waiting for him on the other side? Tom hesitated. The door loomed before him, seeming to pulse with every heartbeat. A wave of anxiety threatened to drown out the comforting thoughts he had just gathered about their game. He steadied himself, sucking in a breath. What if it's just a neighbor? He thought, trying to dismiss the dread. But the realistic part of him whispered that neighbors didn't knock like that, sharp, demanding, like an alarm bell ringing out. It was late, and he had to confront whatever lay beyond the door. He reached for the knob, pulling it slowly as if it held the weight of the world. The door creaked open, and standing there was not the landlord, but a tall figure draped in shadows. For a moment, all he could see was a silhouette against the dim light from the apartment. Tom. The voice was deep and familiar. It hit him with both shock and relief. Mike? What are you doing here? Tom stammered, confusion slicing through his tension. I just got off work. Wanted to check on you. The friend stepped into the light, revealing the worry etched on his face. I've been thinking about your situation, thought maybe I could help out. Tom blinked, overwhelmed. You came all this way? You didn't have to do that. Yeah, well, I figured if you were still facing the heat, I could let you borrow a few hundred until you get things squared away. I made some good tips tonight. Gratitude surged through Tom, warming the icy grip of anxiety still clenching at his insides. You would really do that for me? Of course. You're like family, Mike replied, his sincerity radiating through the gloom. Tom's mind reeled as he processed the implication of Mike's offer. This could change everything: the rent, the game, the fear gnawing at him. But what about, listen, don't worry about it. Just take what you need and we'll figure the rest out later. As relief washed over Tom, the weight he had been carrying lifted just enough to let in light. But a flicker of concern still lingered in the back of his mind. You sure you're okay doing this? You need the money too. Don't sweat it, Mike shook his head with a smile. I couldn't sleep knowing you were in a tough spot. Plus, I want to see you and Jake at that game. At the mention of Jake, Tom's heart swelled with hope. Jake's sleeping, but he can't wait for the game tomorrow. He's been drawing foam fingers all day. Perfect. I'll come by early and we'll make sure we both get him pumped up for it, Mike chuckled, excitement lighting his eyes. As Mike stepped inside to retrieve the cash from his bag, Tom felt a swell of emotions. Sometimes help came in the most unexpected forms, and it was moments like these that gave him hope. Thanks, man. Seriously. You don't know how much this means to me, Tom said, the warmth of friendship enveloping him. Just don't let it go to waste, all right? Mike replied, holding out the money like a lifeline. Tom took it, clutching it to his chest as if it could absorb his worries. I won, I promise. In that moment, he realized that they weren't just battling financial struggles, they were creating bonds, reassured by the understanding that they wouldn't go through tough times alone. Jake stirred from the couch, blinking sleepily. Is everything okay, Dad? Yeah, buddy. All good, Tom said, bringing Mike into view. Who's that? Jake asked, his voice a mix of curiosity and sleep. Just a friend helping us out. Ready for the game? Jake's face lit up with a bright smile. More than ever. As the three of them settled into a conversation filled with laughter and hope, Tom felt a new surge of determination. Life was unpredictable, but family, not just blood, but chosen family, could make any challenge bearable. Yet, as he watched his son's eyes sparkle with excitement and Mike's easy grin, Tom couldn't shake the feeling that deeper challenges loomed. What would happen if they still hit roadblocks when morning came? That thought, nagging at the back of his mind, made one thing clear: the game was only the beginning. The morning arrived with a timid sunlight spilling through the window, soft and hesitant, as if uncertain about what it would illuminate. Tom stirred awake to the sound of whispers and giggles coming from the living room. He stretched and rubbed his eyes, the remnants of last night's tension fading with the morning warmth. Hey, you two! He called out, his voice still thick with sleep. What is going on in there? Jake darted into the room, his face a mixture of mischief and joy. Dad! You won, believe it? Mike helped me make a surprise for the game. Tom's heart swelled at the sight of Mike sitting on the couch, his expression lighting up as he caught Jake's enthusiasm. A surprise? Tom echoed, allowing himself to smile. Yep. You have to see it. Jake insisted, pulling Tom by the hand toward the front door. When they stepped outside, the crisp morning air hit Tom's face, refreshing and invigorating. The kind of day that promised something special. Jake led him to the family car parked right outside, its trunk slightly ajar. "Open it," Jake urged, bouncing on his heels, curiosity piqued. Tom cautiously lifted the trunk lid. Inside, colorful streamers and balloons tumbled into view. Bright foam fingers and a cooler packed with snacks sat neatly beside a handmade banner that Jake clearly had a hand in crafting. It read, "Go Team. Dad and Jake, best fans ever." Jake beamed up at him, eyes sparkling like the sun catching the sea. "I wanted it to be perfect for you. We're going to be the loudest fans ever." Tom was overcome with emotion, swallowing hard against the lump in his throat. His son's thoughtfulness struck him like a bolt of joy and gratitude. "Buddy, this is amazing. You went all out." Mike chuckled beside him. "You should be seen the look on his face when he found all these things. It's like he was on a scavenger hunt." Tom turned to Mike, a heartfelt smile stretching across his face. "Thank you for helping him with this. You're really something, you know that?" "Just making sure you all have a blast," Mike replied, his tone warm with sincerity. Jake bounced impatiently, shaking his arms as if to shake off the anticipation. "Can we set it all up now? We have to be ready before the game." Tom nodded, "Absolutely. Let us make this the best day ever." As they began sorting through the decorations, laughter filled the air. Joy echoed between them, the sound reminding Tom of the simple beauty in moments like these. With every foam finger they held, with every streamer they hung, the struggles of yesterday seemed to drift further away, but amidst the laughter and camaraderie, a flicker of doubt nagged at Tom. What if today didn't go as planned? What if they faced another hurdle? His thoughts swirled like toppings on a sundae, but he pushed them aside, telling himself to embrace the joy of the moment. "Ready for the game?" he asked, turning to Jake, who was bouncing happily in his new jersey. "More than ever." Jake echoed his earlier sentiment, enthusiasm spilling from every word. With a deep breath, Tom allowed himself to take in the scene, a dedicated friend, a joyful son, and the promise of a great day ahead. As they piled into the car, ready to embark on their adventure, the unexpected feeling of hope washed over him again, a feeling he was beginning to hold on to tightly. But as they drove down the road, a flicker of movement in the rearview mirror caught Tom's eye, a shadow quickly disappearing. Why did it feel like they weren't just driving to a game? Unease tugged at him as excitement danced in his son's laughter, leaving him with the lingering thought that perhaps today held more than just a delightful surprise. What if something else awaited them around the corner, something they hadn't prepared for? The car hummed gently as it cruised down the familiar streets, filled with a comforting energy that had Tom feeling hopeful. Jake was practically vibrating with excitement in the back seat, fingers dancing over the foam finger he had claimed as his own. "Dad, do you think we'll win?" Jake's voice pierced through the bubbling anticipation. Tom chuckled, glancing at Mike, who wore a knowing smile. "With our spirit? We might just have an edge." "Yeah," Jake exclaimed, pumping his fist in the air. "And we'll get to see our favorite players." Tom felt the warmth spread through his chest. Moments like these reminded him of why he worked hard to create memories that made life a little brighter, promises fulfilled. But an unsettling feeling kept trying to shadow that brightness. The city began to thin out, giving way to a more open road. Trees lined the path, their leaves glistening under the sunlight, the whole scene painted in vibrant greens. Everything felt right, except for the nagging thought at the back of Tom's mind. "Can you put on the radio, Dad?" Jake piped up, eyebrows raised expectantly. Tom reached for the dial, but just as he turned it, the sharp sound of tires screeching to a halt captured his attention. He glanced in the rearview mirror again. His heart sank as he saw a dark car trailing close behind them, its engine growling with an intensity that didn't feel right. "Dad?" Jake's voice was filled with uncertainty now. "Just hold on a second, buddy," Tom replied, his voice steady, but his heart raced. The car behind them edged closer, too close. Tom shifted uncomfortably in his seat, even as Jake started buzzing with questions about the game. Mike's calm demeanor was a comfort, but Tom could see the other man cast a sidelong glance out the rear window. "Try to relax," Tom said, forcing a smile to Jake. "Almost there." But the unease was creeping in, vines wrapping around his insides. He felt trapped in a scene that was sliding into something he hadn't prepared for. "Do you think they're going to the game too?" Jake asked, oblivious to the tension hanging in the air like a storm cloud. "Maybe," Tom muttered, every fiber in his being wanting to put distance between them and that car. When they pulled up to a stoplight, Tom decided to make a quick turn, hoping to break the car's line of sight. "Hang tight, guys. I'll take a shortcut." Mike sat up straight, eyes darting back at the shadow that stayed on their tail. "Tom, are you sure about this?" "We don't know who they are." As they rounded the corner and followed a side road, Tom's instinct screamed for him to move faster. Anxiety churned his stomach. What if it was nothing? "Dad, is something wrong?" Jake's voice broke through the tension. Tom glanced back quickly, forcing another smile. "Nope, just a little detour. Keep your eyes on the road ahead." They continued driving, the shadow still lurking. Tom clenched the steering wheel, every doubt amplifying in his mind. He could feel Mike's presence beside him, a calm anchor amid the escalating storm of uncertainties swirling within. "Do you think we'll make it in time for the game?" Jake chirped innocently again, but Tom could feel the shift in the atmosphere, could sense the arrival of something unknown. Just then, his phone buzzed in the cup holder, a sudden jolt in the tense silence. He risked a glance at the screen, an unfamiliar number. His heart went into overdrive. "Who is it?" Mike asked, catching the flash of concern on Tom's face. Before he could answer, the shadowy car drove past them, speeding up as it moved ahead. Tom's heart raced even faster. He glanced over at Jake, whose wide eyes mirrored his own fear. Tom's grip tightened as an unexpected thought hit him hard. What if today held more than just a fun day at the game? What if everything they had built, a sense of safety, community, and family, was about to be tested? He felt the weight of questions pressing down on him. They were more than just another family heading to a game. "Can we just get there?" Jake said quietly, and that simple plea struck Tom's heart like a hammer. What if everything just changed? What did that even mean for them? As they pulled into the stadium parking lot, the crowd's excitement drumming through the car, Tom wrestled with a mix of hope and dread. Amid the laughter and cheers around them, a shadow lingered on the edges of his heart. What was waiting for them inside that stadium? He took a breath, determined that whatever it was, they would face it together. But as Jake hopped out, ready to cheer, Tom couldn't shake the feeling that today had more in store for them than just a game. What would reveal itself in the bleachers, when the reality of their lives collided with a moment that could change everything? The stadium soared high above them, a grand structure pulsating with the cheers and shouts of excited fans. As Tom and Jake made their way through the buzzing crowd, the atmosphere was electric. Everywhere they looked, families shared moments of joy, sporting jerseys and foam fingers, a beautiful tapestry of joy woven through the excitement of the game. Tom's heart pounded not just from the thrill of the scene, but from the lingering uncertainty that shadowed him. What had been a day filled with anticipation now felt heavier, with that nagging voice whispering doubts and fears. Jake clasped his hand tightly, his enthusiasm bursting through, oblivious to the worries resurfacing within Tom's mind. "Look at the scoreboard, Dad. We made it. It's time to celebrate," Jake shouted, his eyes shining brighter than the lights around them. Tom crouched down so he was at eye level with his son. "You're right, buddy. Let us celebrate." He smiled, watching as Jake launched himself into the air, mimicking the energy of the roaring crowd, and at that moment, as they approached their seats, Tom took a deep breath, immersing himself in the laughter and camaraderie that filled the air. The moment felt magical. This day they had fought to create it, to enjoy it, and damn it, they would do just that. Jake bounced up and down in his seat, waving his foam finger with glee. "This is amazing, Dad. We're here. We're really here." Tom chuckled, trying to match his son's excitement, but something fragile tightened in his chest. The game kicked into full swing, players charging across the field while cheers erupted from the stands. But as the excitement unfolded, the shadow of anxiety pulled at Tom like a weight he couldn't shake. He scanned the crowd, feeling eyes on him, wondering if the dark car would reappear or if the landlord's message would haunt the day. Halfway through the second inning, as Jake bounced on his seat yelling encouragement to the players, Tom decided enough was enough. He leaned close to his son, who was beaming from ear to ear. "What do you say we forget everything else for today? No worries. Just us." Jake's eyes lit up, full of the unwavering faith only a child could hold. "Yes. Just us. The best day ever." Tom's heart swelled. Jake's simple belief stole the tension he had carried, however momentarily. This day was about the two of them, about creating memories that would last far beyond the stresses of daily life. As the innings rolled on, laughter spilled from their seats. They shared popcorn, cheered loudly, so loud that other fans turned to admire the duo's enthusiasm. With every moment, Tom felt some of the weight lifting. He was letting go, embracing the day just as Jake had encouraged him to. "Dad! Look! The mascot!" Jake yelled, pointing as the colorful figure danced near the stands, making everyone laugh. It was then that Tom felt joy bubble to the surface, a true joy that drowned out worry. They cheered and laughed, creating an unbreakable bond with each passing moment, a reminder that love and laughter were the true treasures of their lives. But just when the thrill seemed to reach its peak, Tom felt his phone vibrate in his pocket. He reached to silence it, hoping it was just an errant reminder. He didn't want to break the spell of happiness, but the nagging sensation stole his focus. "Hey Dad, what did you get?" Jake asked, eyes wide with curiosity. "Just a little reminder," Tom replied, forcing a smile. But deep down, his heart raced. What if it was his landlord? What if something had gone wrong? A flash of doubt crawled up his throat like bile. "Dad, I think they're going to win." Jake's voice broke through his thoughts, and as Tom leaned over to see the excitement radiating from his son's eyes, he felt swells of warmth rolling back in. But the phone buzzed again. This time, he couldn't ignore it. "I'll be right back, buddy. Just a quick check." He stood, making his way down the steps. Jake's face dropped slightly, but Tom gave him an encouraging smile. "I'll just be a minute." Tom stepped aside, the bustle of the crowd fading as he stepped into the shadow of a corridor. The cool air washed over him as he opened the message, his heart racing again. It was an alert from his landlord reminding him of the overdue rent. The deadline loomed heavy with stress. But rather than panic, something surprising flared up within him. It was the realization that despite these challenges, despite what the email said, he had joy, he had hope, and he shared a bond with Jake that couldn't be broken by money or worry. These moments of laughter and love were what truly mattered. He returned to his seat, Jake eagerly throwing his hands in the air as if demanding his father to join the excitement. Instead of letting the shadow of fear weigh him down, Tom leaned into the exuberance. "Okay, buddy. Let us cheer like no one else watching." The next few innings passed like a whirlwind of joy. High fives were exchanged, hot dogs devoured, and laughter echoed through the stands. Every triumphant cheer for the team became a celebration of their love as father and son. And as the game reached its climax, Tom felt overwhelmed with gratitude. Each moment spent with Jake crystallized like photographs in his memory. Jake was in his element, shouting and cheering alongside his father, perched on the edge of pure, exhilarating joy. But as the game ended and victory filled the air, Tom knew the day was not just about the score, it was about finding joy amidst the struggle, a testament of love that would resonate long after the final whistle blew. Jake turned to him, flushed and bright-eyed. "Dad, this was the best day ever." And Tom, filled with the warmth only love could offer, pulled his son close. "Yeah, it really was." No matter the struggles that awaited them, no matter the shadows lingering, today had reminded him that they could face anything together, one incredible moment at a time. As they stepped back into the world, Tom's heart soared, a newfound understanding drawing deep within him. They were more than just father and son, they were an unbreakable team forged through love and laughter. And that was enough. Now, more than ever, he wanted to share their story with the world. If you felt the connection, if you believed in their journey, now is the time. Subscribe immediately to not miss out on the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm that keeps this community alive. Comment below your reactions and feelings about this ending, and share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to support us, don't wait not even one more second. Only true fans understand the importance of being part of this journey.